Joseph Manzero, a name unknown until now, is the man behind the lawsuit that has the internet buzzing and Hollywood trembling. In legal filings, he accuses Sean Combs, known globally as Diddy, of leading a web of human trafficking, abuse, and manipulation. But this isn't just a claim against one man. Manzero paints a chilling picture of a system that allegedly includes drugs, coercion, psychological torment, and a revolving door of celebrity witnesses who, knowingly or not, became part of a much larger machine. It all started in 2015, or at least, that's when the alleged incident that changed Manzero's life forever took place. According to him, he never chose to go to the now infamous freak-off party in Miami. He was allegedly drugged, abducted, and transported without his consent to a mansion crawling with elite names. But what was supposed to be a celebration turned into what he describes as a horror show of humiliation and abuse. The details are graphic. Manzero claims he was stripped, forced into a degrading mask shaped like male genitalia, and paraded in front of partygoers. That mask wasn't just a costume, it was a symbol. A message, a way to strip him of identity, agency, and humanity. And among the alleged onlookers, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, LeBron James, Gloria Estefan. None of these celebrities are accused of participating in the abuse. But their presence, as alleged by Manzero, has set off a firestorm. He recalls LeBron James looking at him and saying, "Someone's gotta do something about this." He remembers Beyoncé's expression confused, disturbed as she asked, "Why is he wearing that?" Yet no one intervened. No one stopped what was happening, and that silence, in Manzero's view, is deafening. This silence cuts deeper when placed in context. Manzero alleges that this wasn't an isolated event. According to him, this type of gathering had become a regular occurrence among the elite, well-known but unspoken feature of the celebrity underworld. A place where the rules don't apply, where boundaries vanish, and where those with power indulge their darkest whims without fear of exposure. What followed was a descent into something even darker. Manzero alleges he was drugged repeatedly throughout the night. One substance named in the lawsuit is scopolamine, a drug that erases memory and eliminates free will. He says he was rendered powerless, unable to think or resist. And under those conditions, he was allegedly forced to engage in non-consensual acts, manipulated by fear and chemically induced compliance. But the physical abuse was just part of it. Manzero describes psychological tactics designed to break him: threats, humiliation, forced obedience. He says that by the end of the night, he no longer recognized himself. He was just a tool, a body, a pawn. In an especially harrowing moment, Manzero recalls being forced to crawl through a hidden passage beneath the Manzero tunnel, allegedly, that connected properties and allowed VIP guests to move in secret. The passage itself, dark and narrow, symbolized everything he now believes about the world he was dragged into: glamorous on the surface, rotten underneath. After the party, the nightmare didn't end. According to Manzero, he was taken back to a residence in Deerfield Beach, a house owned by a man named Omar Bravo, whom he accuses of being deeply embedded in the trafficking operation. He alleges this house was part of a pipeline, a place where victims were processed, silenced, and watched. Bravo allegedly operated under a cloak of legitimacy, using front businesses to conceal the real activities happening behind closed doors. There's more. Manzero says he was kept under control for years, that even after he escaped the immediate abuse, the psychological chains remained. He was followed, threatened, told that if he ever spoke out, the consequences would be fatal. One name comes up often in this part of the story: Eric Marius. Allegedly, Marius told him outright, "We'll get rid of you." According to the lawsuit, Manzero lived in fear. He claims his son was threatened, that people he didn't know showed up near his home. And in one police report, a name appears that sends a chill. Sigfredo Garcia, a man later convicted of a brutal, high-profile murder, was allegedly seen in Manzero's neighborhood. Coincidence? Or another piece of a chilling puzzle? Why didn't Manzero come forward sooner? It's a question critics love to ask. But his answer is clear. He was scared. Not just for himself, but for those he loved. According to him, the threats didn't stop until 2021, and only then did he feel safe enough to even consider taking legal action. Fear doesn't always fade with time. Sometimes it calcifies, becomes a barrier to truth. Manzero says it took years of therapy, relocation, and building a support network before he could even begin to unpack what had happened. Now the lawsuit is public, and with it comes a cascade of other claims. Diddy, who once seemed untouchable, is now facing multiple legal battles. Other lawsuits accuse him of running a criminal enterprise involving drugging, sexual assault, and witness tampering. Manzero's case is just one thread, but it might be the one that unravels the whole tapestry. Diddy's legal team has called the allegations baseless, accusing Manzero of seeking money and fame. But some say the specificity of the claims, the locations, the names, the details make them hard to dismiss. And the fact that multiple alleged victims are now telling similar stories? That can't be ignored. One former assistant who chose to remain anonymous said, "Everyone knew something was going on, but nobody had the guts to ask questions." The trial is scheduled for May 2025. U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian will oversee it, and it promises to be one of the most closely watched legal dramas in recent memory. But it's not just about one man's guilt or innocence. It's about the culture of silence that often surrounds celebrity power. The party may be over, but the reckoning is just beginning. A gag order has already been issued. Leaked tapes, including one of Diddy and his ex Cassie, have surfaced. The media circus has only just begun. And while Diddy maintains his innocence, the weight of the evidence, the growing list of claims, and the testimony of insiders paint a very different picture. One of those insiders? Freddie P., a former member of Da Band. In a recent interview, he didn't hold back. "Settle. Don't take this to court," he warned. His message was clear: pride won't save you. The truth might destroy you. And the courtroom is not a place to test your luck when the world already sees you as guilty. Freddie P. even hinted that there were others who haven't spoken yet, people who know way more than me. The entertainment industry is watching this case closely. Agents, publicists, and studio heads are already preparing for the fallout. Some have quietly distanced themselves from Diddy, while others are nervously awaiting the trial's revelations. Could more names be exposed? Could this case trigger a wave of testimonies that pull more celebrities into the spotlight? So what comes next? For Diddy, the road ahead is treacherous. His empire built on music, fashion, businesses at risk. His reputation, once spotless in the public eye, now hangs by a thread. And as the court date approaches, the question isn't just whether he'll be convicted, it's whether the legacy he spent decades building will survive. For Manzero, this lawsuit is more than legal action. It's an act of reclamation, of power, of voice, and of truth, as painful and disturbing as that truth may be. He has said publicly that he wants his story to shine a light on other victims, those still trapped in the shadows, too afraid to speak. And for the public, it's a moment of reckoning, a chance to ask, how many more stories like this are still buried? How many powerful people have gotten away with silence as their shield? And how long will it take for that shield to finally crack? Hollywood has seen scandals before, but few as wide-reaching, as terrifying, and as implicating as this. The trial begins in May. But the judgment of the court of public opinion is already underway, and no matter the outcome, the world will never look at Diddy or the industry around him the same way again.